What did you learn about branding from your first job? We'll talk about that in a minute.
Welcome to the Brandtelling Podcast, where we share secrets, systems, and strategies you can use to unleash the power of story to build and grow your brand. The Brandtelling Podcast is brought to you by the award-winning team at Communication Strategy Group, bringing a combined 50-plus years of publishing, agency, and client strategy, creative, and tactical marketing experience. Please welcome your hosts, Principal and Chief Brand Teller Arthur Germain and Creative Director Michael Simbram.
Hey, this is Arthur Germain. My first real job was working for my Uncle Joe Lewinger, who owned Joe's Photo in Glen Cove, New York. I worked there after school and weekends from my freshman year in high school all the way through college graduation. Whenever I was home on a break, there was a job waiting for me at Joe's. Uncle Joe was a longtime resident of Glen Cove, and he'd been the high school newspaper photographer, and so he was a natural to become the city's most well-known photo shop owner. In addition to Joe's prodigious knowledge of photography, back when it was shot on film and processed with chemicals and sometimes had to be sent out to special darkrooms, he had an incredible insight into what made a strong brand story. I don't know if he would have called it that, but he was a really great and sometimes tough boss and a really wonderful person. I miss him, and I think about him often when I work with customers, especially when I'm thinking about brand stories. Here's a little bit about what I learned about branding from Uncle Joe. 1. Be the brand. When your name is on the door, people expect to be able to talk to you. You need to be the brand at all times. 2. Praise in public, criticize in private. You should tell someone's supervisor about them when they do something great. Tell everybody in the room, but tell the person directly when you're dissatisfied, privately. 3. Teach your team to be the brand also. You can't be there 100% of the time, but if the team knows how to respond to customers when you're not there, it won't matter. 4, your brand must add value. Listen, we sold Kodak film and processing and Nikon cameras, and so did half a dozen others in the area. Joe taught me to load the film into the camera, check the batteries, clean the lens, and make sure the customer had everything that he or she might need to take great pictures. That's why they came into the store. 5, tell the truth. Sometimes photos didn't come out because the customer made a mistake. Sometimes photos didn't come out because the processor made a mistake. Sometimes film didn't come out because I made a mistake. Joe taught me that everything was the same to the customer. He or she wasn't going to see the anticipated photos. The truth is tough to tell, especially when someone is yelling at you. You have to tell it anyway. 6, ask for a second chance and give a second chance. When we made a mistake, we asked for a second chance to make things right, even if the fault didn't lie with us. A lost set of photos, for example, Joe would ask for forgiveness and provide a fresh roll of film at no charge. When I had neglected my responsibilities and been late to work a few times, Joe told me to take a week and consider whether I wanted to work for him. I did, and he took me back. And 7, don't be afraid to clean the toilets. Hey, listen, it's not all pretty prom pictures. Customers may want to visit the bathroom, and they don't want to see it a mess. When it's your job to clean the toilets, that can be just as important as anything else you do to represent your brand. One more thing I learned from Uncle Joe, call it a bonus. Number 8, train your customers how to best work with you, your team, and your brand. This point was driven home one Christmas holiday during the height of the season. Just before Christmas, the store was packed as usual. As Joe patiently walked a customer through the intricacies of a new camera purchase, another customer came into the store. I asked if I could help him, and he replied that he wanted to speak with Joe. I let him know that Joe was going to be a while. Half an hour and a dozen other customers later, I again asked the man if I could help him. This time he was a little brusque, responding that he'd already told me he wanted to see Joe. I asked if I could let Joe know what he needed, and he ignored my question. When Joe finished with his customer, he smiled, he welcomed the waiting customer, and he asked him how he could help. The customer handed Joe his camera and told him it had stopped working. Without missing a beat, Joe turned, handed me the camera, and asked me what I thought was the problem. The customer's jaw went slack, wide open, as I quickly ran through the possible options, finally realizing that the batteries were dead. I quickly replaced them, asked the customer what type of film he required, loaded the film, cleaned and returned his camera. He thanked me, paid us, and hurried off. I was professional, I was friendly, and I tried not to be smug. After he left, Joe said to me, "That's why I pay you. You are fully capable of helping customers, and you know when you need my help." Once someone sees that, they begin to get the idea that this is a business and not just me standing behind the counter. So how about you? What did you learn about branding in your first job? Let me know at the Brandtelling Podcast.
Build a better brand story for your business. Schedule a complimentary consultation with the brand tellers at Communication Strategy Group. Send a note to contact-us@gocsg.com or visit us at communicationstrategygroup.com/contact.